what's going on? We are live here at the Royal Rumble Media Day. Joe Roderick and Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com. I think I was the only local media here today for this. It's all the websites and all the insiders for this. This is my first little experience with something like this, one of these Media Day Junkets, Royal Rumble weekend here, and this is your first event here in St. Louis. You said,
it
right?
is my first time ever being to St. Louis. I've never been before.
When did you got in yesterday?
Got in yesterday. Got a nice view of the arch.
Yeah.
So I got to see that, and
I was surprised. So we had a few of the superstars coming around here earlier. And both Dewdrop and Nikki ASH mentioned going to see the arch. They didn't know that you can go up in the arch.
I didn't know that either.
Really?
I had no idea.
How is this I didn't realize this was like a big secret.
I figured it was like a solid
No,
thing.
you go in. There's like a museum underneath, and
I had no idea.
Then you go right up all the way to the top.
That's incredible. Like, I didn't know that at all.
This is something we need to address. Like the city of St. Louis needs to address this and
Yes.
make sure people can campaign about
they,
it.
They haven't done a good job of promoting the fact that it's hollowed out and you can travel within the arch.
The St. Louis Arch, you can go inside. That's
like looking at it from where I look at it. Of course, it looks massive, but it doesn't look like something that you could like travel within.
Okay, we're gonna get in touch with them about a new marketing campaign for that. So, as far as the media junkets go for this, is this did they do one SummerSlam?
Yeah, they did one for SummerSlam. They did one for Survivor Series. I wasn't there for that, but before that, they hadn't done many since the pandemic started. Because I mean, obviously, they got to take care of the wrestlers. They got to protect their superstars, but they really streamlined and they do a good job making sure everybody gets to talk to almost everybody.
And when you do these interviews, do you try to keep them in character? Do you try to get them out of, like, what is your approach?
So it depends. Like, I kind of take the temperature of the situation. I mean, generally, I'm reporting things that happen behind the scenes. So with some people like Nikki ASH, she's had a bit of a character shift of late, and I thought it would be more fun to do that in her character, because I spoke to her about out of character things just a few months ago. Dewdrop had such a changing character that I wanted to speak to her about the adjustments to that character as well. And there are people like AJ Styles and Shelton Benjamin who I've been waiting to talk to for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got to ask you like these questions that have been on my mind for decades.
Yeah, and you know, I did radio for several years, and doing that, and you get them out, like, you don't get that in person stuff. Back in the day, you were doing it over the phone, and you're right. You take the temperature of it, because there were certain guys that, if depending on their, I guess, where they were in the company or where they were storyline wise, some just want to talk about whatever, and others want to stay just in care. I think so. Dolph Ziggler was an example for me doing it. One time he was just all, hey, I'm the best at this and that, talking about whatever the hell you wanted. And then the next time I had him on, it was after Sting debuted the Survivor Series here in St. Louis.
Oh, wow, it was.
And one of the things, like, so what was that like? When Sting's music hit, I was knocked out in the ring. It's just like,
I mean, I kind of like that answer more than anything, though. But there are certain people, Matt Hardy, if he ever wants to do the main character, there you go. MJF, I don't know how much of a character he actually is. He might just be a big piece of trash. Silas Young, former ROH guy who's the last real man. Like, those work really, really well in character, and I know that I'll get stuff that is just as good as if I ask them something about like a contract, or I ask them about a situation that they were a part of. So it really depends on the star, the situation, the moment. If I've talked to them before, if I'm going to talk to them again, if I ever think I'll get the opportunity to interview them, there's a lot that goes into it.
I want your advice for somebody like me. Right now, so Royal Rumble is the start of WrestleMania season. I want to be surprised. I want to. I don't. It's hard to avoid some of the rumors that are out there this weekend. It really is. But as far as
hard to avoid it being here too, because you might run into somebody.
Yeah, or you just overhear it for that. But when you're trying to do that, and for your job, for that, I mean, that's something you can't by any means. So so as a fan of wrestling, how do you approach the business side of it?
Well, ultimately, my job comes first. I love wrestling. I love wrestling more than anything. But I think what I even love more about wrestling is learning about wrestling, whether it's things that are going to happen, things that did happen, why they happened, how they happened. What I do personally is I don't talk about anybody that's rumored for a surprise on my Twitter. I don't put it in a headline. I don't do anything like that. We'll put it like behind our paywall or like behind a spoiler protected headline.
Gotcha.
That way, there are people who want to avoid it but don't want to stay off Twitter. At least on our part, it won't be them getting it from us if they can avoid that appropriately. So unless you go to our paywall, behind the paywall, within the body of an article that's titled spoiler, you're not going to see stuff like that for the Royal Rumble specifically.
For the name though that's out there as far as making a return, and I will try to say this as delicately as possible if anybody is watching that doesn't want to have it spoiled for them. What are the odds of that happening tomorrow night?
The odds? Oh man, I don't know. I would say 50-50 at this point because you never know how negotiations will go. I heard that it's a likelihood, but not enough for me to say, yeah, for sure they're going to be there, they're going to be back, et cetera, et cetera. Anytime there's stuff about the Royal Rumble, I make sure to be careful about how I word things. I'll say stuff like they've had discussions about it because I did like 20,000 words on the Royal Rumble this year and last year. There were people that found out the day before they were going to be in it. So as we film this, there might be people that don't know they're in the Royal Rumble yet that find out tonight. And a lot of times things can fall through. And look at the world that we're in right now. Look at things could change. Somebody might have a positive COVID test along the way and not be able to do it. So there's a lot to take into consideration.
Yeah, that's and then for the names that we do know. So Rumble, Royal Rumble wise, do you have a favorite? Do you have favorite years of the Rumble?
Ooh, there's a couple. I think 2018 was really incredible.
Was that Roman?
No, it was I think Nakamura and Asuka.
Okay.
There was 2007 because there was an incredible ending with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. An underrated one is a 2004 Rumble that happened on SmackDown a couple days later, where they did like a 15-man Rumble, but then the end was like Eddie and Kurt Angle in like an 8-9 minute match to throw each other over the top. That was incredible. And of course, there's 92. So there's about one each decade to me that has stood out like well above the others.
And as far the big thing with the Rumble is just those surprise entrants. And I was talking about this with AJ Styles, that for most people you hear the music and it's the first couple's notes of the music and the place just erupts. Yeah. For his intro though, for his debut,
phenomenal.
And that's what had to come on the screen. People are just, what the hell's this music? I don't know who this is. Who's this guy walking out with a hood? And then you see that, and then the place goes nuts. But the ones for that I mean, Cena, when he made his return, of course, that's the big one. And then I'd love to know how that ovation compared to like Edge 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and but the venues too have played such a huge deal in that as far as the sounds go. Is there music that you think we can hear tomorrow night?
For sure. I think there's several themes that we can hear and will hear that will encourage that pop. And I mean, look at 5 years ago, Ty Dillinger, now Sean Spears in the Royal Rumble, and it's like he didn't even need a theme. It was just the number entrant, and everybody was already chanting 10. So the wrestling crowd is very unique, and obviously, like they pick up on things. Generally, they're very smart and they're intuitive. And if you like pro wrestling, usually you're a creative person. If you're in pro wrestling, you have to be a creative person. And I think the Royal Rumble is the perfect combination for that. It's my favorite time of year.
It's the second one that they have had here in St. Louis. The first one, I think I was there, and I can't remember. I think it was the 40-man.
The one that Del Rio won?
No, then that would have been, I think the Sheamus one. I think it was Sheamus and Jericho were the last two. So maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, I think Del Rio won the 40-man one.
Yeah, he won the 40-man. So it would
have been 2012 then.
Okay, so 2012, the last time the Rumble was here. So 10 years ago, the last time the Rumble was here in St. Louis. Wouldn't mind if they just made that an every 10-year thing.
I'm sure that'd be an easy trip for you.
Very easy. But as with I was going to say with the Rumble being here in St. Louis, you said it's your first time here in St. Louis. Have you done any research, any back on as far as St. Louis wrestling goes?
I mean, a little bit here and there. I mean, because I didn't grow up in this area, it wasn't like a particular instance of study for me. I'll never pretend to be a historian or anything like that. If it happened from the 90s onward, yeah, I probably know about it, but I'm definitely more into current wrestling than trying to be a historian. There are other people who do that way better than me.
Okay, so as what kind of coverage are you going to have this weekend on Fightful?
Well, obviously, I'm looking to get any inside information that I can get because that's what we do. We break a lot of news, but I'm going to send some notes off to our people who are doing the post-show podcasts on Fightful. We've got multiple running concurrently, actually, one on Select behind the paywall and one publicly. Today, getting FaceTime with a lot of WWE wrestlers was important. That way, I get to know these people. I want to normalize that relationships between wrestlers, PR, agents, managers, and people who cover pro wrestling outside of the mainstream outlets. I think that would be good to help normalize.
I won't ask for your predictions tomorrow because I don't want to reveal any potential spoilers.
I do not know who's winning the Royal Rumble.
That's why. Well, I don't even want to ask predictions because my prediction on the women's side again.
I think it'll be a surprise.
Yeah. So that's what match goes on last tomorrow.
I think the women. I think the women's Royal Rumble might go on last. Yeah.
Do you think we're not opening with a Rumble, right? We're not going to open with one of those matches?
Maybe. I don't know. It's tough. That's tough to call, honestly. I think it'd be a great thing to do and then give people, I don't want to say give people a break, but have that 3 or 4 match buffer in between because you don't want to do them too close to each other.
Tomorrow it's I'm very excited to walk in there tomorrow and see the setup that they have. Now that they're going to these huge domes, arenas, and everything, they're not. It's not going to be the huge WrestleMania backdrop, and they're not building a roller coaster anywhere.
So different, yeah.
but still, like we saw it, at Chase Field and in Minute Maid. They're doing these big 40,000+ seat venues now for this, and I've never seen a wrestling show at the Dome.
Yeah,
so
that was interesting to me. They did it there. Wasn't it an XFL stadium?
It was the Rams. It was where the Rams were. When they came to St. Louis.
But it was eventually an XFL stadium.
It was where the Battlehawks played. So
of course the most important football team in the city.
It was, and it's going to be coming back. Hopefully, The Rock decides to bring it back, and for how marketable the team was and how much money they made. So one of the games in 2020 before they shut down, Shane McMahon came for that. And he came to the game, and that's when rumors were kind of going between, was the 21 Rumble going to be in St. Louis, or there were some reports saying Seattle.
There were plans for it to be in St. Louis.
I had heard that it was supposed to be here for that, and I asked him, I said, are you kind of scoping this place out for that? And
when because I broke the news that it was going to be in St. Louis, somebody was like, "Oh no, I heard Seattle." I was like, "Buddy, I think you're reading the abbreviation wrong. It's STL does not mean Seattle."
Happened?
I legitimately think, and I haven't had this confirmed, I think somebody internally read the STL wrong, and it kind of got leaked out there. Maybe Seattle.
Interesting.
Because I had never heard Seattle.
And those were because it was some point, I want to say in like late 2019 was when I had heard that it was happening, and I was like, and then I started seeing the reports of Seattle, and I was like, do people, if it was at Safeco, like, do people not realize, like, yeah, it's a dome stadium, they have a roof there, but that's not going to work. And in January, February in Seattle, nobody's going to want to go up there. Like, that's more of a SummerSlam type venue now for that.
Yeah.
So,
or Money in the Bank now. So they're doing that at a dome now.
That's I hadn't really put the two together, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would much rather go to Seattle in July or August or June than I would in January.
I mean, I don't want to be in St. Louis in January, but if it means the Rumble's here, I'll take that once every 10 years.
Yeah, and I mean, what a fantastic show to have here. I'm very excited to see the venue, how much of it is utilized and all that, because I was there at the Alamo Dome in 2017. Yes. and it was a unique experience.
I don't think they're going to be bringing the big boys down in golf carts this year.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to be happening.
I mean, it's I don't want to say smaller, but I mean
they've changed it. I think they've changed. It looks like the ramp is where they've put the ramp in the ring. I think they have made it shorter.
Yes.
It's not going to be huge. Where have you eaten so far? Where do you plan to eat? Have you been given recommendations yet?
Yes. So I've got a friend who played college soccer at my alma mater, and she was like, "You got to try Ballpark Village, something like that." She's like, "Try that." I ate at the place downstairs, the sports bar downstairs, and that's it so far besides Starbucks. After this, I'm going to eat somewhere. Don't even know where yet.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to Carmine's. Is that a thing?
The steakhouse, yes.
I'm going there tonight, and I might go to Chris or whatever downstairs, like right now, and then tomorrow
we'll get him some good barbecue recommendations, and we'll tell him those.
Pappy's, maybe is that
Pappy's.
There we go.
Well, you know what? We'll fix this when we finish. We'll get him, instead of a chain restaurant, a chain steakhouse. We'll get him some St. Louis food, and we'll make that work.
Well, let me tell you, I had a melt from somewhere. Let me see where I had the melt at from Uber Eats, and I don't want to bury him.
Yeah,
but it didn't come as advertised.
Okay. Well, yeah, we will figure all this out. We'll find a place to get him some T-Rabs, toasted ravioli. We'll get that.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
The Big Melt. I had a melt from there.
From where?
I don't know. It says The Big Melt. Or maybe surely that wasn't the name of the actual thing. Yeah, it's a place called The Big Melt.
That's not familiar with that. We'll get them set up, and we'll take care of all of that. Sean Ross Sapp, again, where can people find your work, and how could they go about subscribing and everything else to it?
Fightful.com. Our exclusive news is on FightfulSelect.com. We break more wrestling news than anybody out there, so give it a shot. We have a bunch of podcasts as well.
Awesome, guys. Hey, we will talk to you later. And hey, check out the Claibs Online YouTube page. All the interviews that we've just done here already uploaded there for you to watch. Just go to YouTube, search Claibs Online, and we will talk to you soon.
St. Louis Acura was the #1 Acura dealer in Missouri in 2021, and we were the 17th in the nation for Acura sales volume. We sell over 100 pre-owned vehicles monthly, and we service all of the makes and models that we sell. We are waiting for verification of our 30th Acura Precision Team Award, the only dealer in the nation with so many awards for customer satisfaction and dealership performance. We have 300 pre-owned vehicles in stock right now. St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.